Everybody, this is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I am your host, Edward Anderson. Time to wrap up. I should have probably had a whole playlist of videos when it comes to this particular topic. But time to wrap this fucking topic up. Appreciate y'all. I'm probably gonna put that live stream I did on Patreon. I wanted to keep it live for a while. I don't like to be that guy to go live and then all of a sudden put something on, Patreon, because I stand on what I say, right? I stand on what I say. So I wanted to give some time for y'all to, marinate with it. So yeah, I'll probably put that on Patreon because I don't need to test the damn YouTube guides too long. But yeah, man, I don't know if y'all seen the news. It's starting to go around. They talking about DDG. People were saying DDG and 5 and all of that, and it looks like they were right, man. Haillw Bailey drops the case. Did y'all seen the news? And people are starting to talk about it. And you know who probably ain't gonna talk about it? Black women. Black women are gonna do the typical that shit didn't happen. Hear no evil, see no evil bullshit. They're gonna pretend, they're gonna try to remix this shit, all the female identified crowd is gonna try to remix this bullshit. Or actually, when they can't remix the bullshit, what they typically do is they typically just get quiet and pretend it didn't happen and move on to something else. That's what they always do when they in the wrong. Here's why this is important. Number one, kudos to DDG. He got the money. He had the time. He waited her out. He waited her out. That's number one. Number two, look, and I'm sorry. I actually like Haillw Bailey, but I gotta say it, call a spade a spade. The bitch lied. The bitch fucking lied, because there's no fucking way that she that ring camera footage. She This is what people need to know, because I didn't do a lot of updates on it. Haillw Bailey basically understand that they came to an agreement. That she's gonna drop the domestic case, and the case he had was as a result of her, and we already know what time that is. Basically, she wasn't getting her way. The case wasn't going her way, and because the case wasn't going her way, she got 3 different judges. I don't know how you do that, because men definitely can't do that shit. But she got 3 different judges, and all them judges was coming to the same fucking conclusion that this bitch don't have the evidence she's talking about. She never submitted the ring camera footage, so she didn't have the ring camera footage, because she would have submitted that shit. She didn't, so she fucking lied. And really, this honestly should be a parental alienation case, and we're gonna keep it all the way 100, because she basically said false. She said false shit. If she don't have that footage, that means that shit didn't happen. Which means she said false shit in order to basically alienate his son from him, which not just damages obviously damages the man, but it damages the child as well. So really, those are some allegations she should get as well. Like real fucking talk. And this is like one of them situations where I get it. DDG want to see his son. He just wants the shit to be over. And, it seems like his strategy worked. But this is the type of shit that where really, in a perfect world, you would punish a bitch. You will punish a bitch for doing this type of shit. Sorry, man, I'm like doing something. Like, this ain't no, yeah, you got a good try, but at the end of the day, you lost. No, there should be a real punishment to her doing this, because this is real damages. Now, obviously, DDG be low-key on some, man, that's the mother of my children, and blah, 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 bullshit. And it is what it is, because obviously they had to come, if they came to agreement, he probably had to agree that he would drop, obviously they came to an agreement that they would drop the shit, meaning, you know, obviously for her to drop the shit, he can't retaliate. And that's probably the problem. But ultimately that bitch lied. And that needs to be put out there. This is why, you know, black male media is important. Because it needs to be put out there. That bitch lied. That bitch lied. She can say, she can frame it the way, however she want to frame it. She can frame it however she want to frame it. But ultimately, dude lost damn near a whole year with his son because she want to play games. Here's another thing you don't know. Haillw Bailey, because nobody gave a fuck. Haillw Bailey actually launched an album. Haillw Bailey actually launched an album that nobody gave a fuck about. And with all this controversy that she had, playing with her son, playing with all of that, she launched an album that nobody gave a damn about. All these concerts that just came through North Carolina, NBA YoungBoy was at the NBA, the North Carolina State Fair, and people were going crazy about that on TikTok. You know, dude had like 13 police officers. Like a wholesome thing. You had Billie Eilish come through here. You had who's like pretty much the second like hottest white girl for white people as far as the music shit goes. You had Tate McRae come here, which is pretty much like the fourth. She's like the youngest out of the bunch, the fourth hottest white girl out here. You got Taylor, Sabrina, and Billy, depending on who you ask with the white people. And then you got Tate McRae at 21 at our biggest stadium. Playboi Carti's coming here November 13th. The Jonas Brothers are coming tomorrow. But ask me if anybody knows Haillw Bailey coming. No, you would have never heard about Haillw Bailey going on tour because nobody gives a fuck. You don't even hear about Haillw Bailey in a fucking music festival. And that's not me trying to be an asshole. That's not me trying to be mean. That's me trying to be real. That's what happens when you try to build a career just off of, you know, black women, and you all don't give, and black men, y'all don't give a fuck about black men at all. As if these niggas ain't got daughters. As if these niggas, you know, you don't give a fuck. Right? So, you know, this is, you playing games. Yeah, what's up, everybody? AB Media. She Hate Me, Mr. M. Black women always on, but will claim white women do it more. Yeah, they are. And they will absolutely right. They will claim that. But black women, man, BGS did a video on abortion. BGS basically did a video on abortion and fertility. Our fertility rate has officially dropped below, you know, white people, which you can tell we having too many kids, to be honest with you. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Because we having too many kids, black people, because we having too many kids of, and these kids are all coming out YNs because these women ain't taking care of them. So a lot of black women do need to hold up on having so many kids. So that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as it's not like a prolonged situation. But yeah, the fertility, BGS did that video. I was going to share it. I'm probably am still because it's a good video. But like black women and abortion, black women like I said, they don't want to be black. I don't care what nobody says. You're not beating those allegations. Black women don't want to be black. That everybody keeps like not wanting to come, even people I talk to offline, they don't want to come to that conclusion, but they don't want to be black. When you look at the shit that they do, these chicks do, these are all indicators that they don't want to be black. They don't want to be black. These chicks want to opt out, and that's important because if y'all really want to opt out like that, then shit, it ain't nothing to talk about. It ain't nothing to talk about. It ain't nothing to talk about. All this shit, y'all want help, y'all go get help from somebody else. Because if y'all gonna be like that, like black women, when it talks to like that's a different video. But when you talk about like how many abortions they all have, not understanding you're really self harming yourself. And BGS had a good point about black women having a different reproductive cycle than white people. Black women have go through puberty younger, and that's what happens. You don't have a real conversation about that. When everybody start being like, oh man, women shouldn't get married, until they're 30. Well, the basically what you're implying when you say women shouldn't get married until they're 30 and women should go through a whole phase. I hope you're assuming you're also meaning that women shouldn't have children until I'm gonna get back to the Haillw thing in a second. That's what this video is about. But women shouldn't be having children until they're married, and if they shouldn't have children until they're married, they're essentially saying they shouldn't have children until they're 30. They shouldn't start having children until they're 30. We know a lot of these women actually do believe in single motherhood, so we know that's bullshit. But if you're really on to they shouldn't have children until they're 30, then a lot of these BGS, a lot of these women. He was talking about his daughters. A lot of these women, they go through puberty at like 10 or 11 in the black community, which means they have an earlier cycle than white people. So if they have an earlier cycle than white people, and you're sitting here and telling them they should go through 30, you're actually setting them up to go through much harder pregnancy. You're actually setting them up to fail. And unfortunately, I'm sorry that their social structure doesn't line up with their biology. All these educated women, they want to talk about, how educated they are, yet they're they're really out of their mind when you really add everything up. They really lost the fucking plot. They have lost the plot like a motherfucker. And so it's really black women are really like anti-life. They're anti-life like a motherfucker. They really are. They're really on some demonic witchcraft shit. And it's funny because I do share the video of some stupid motherfucker, and I'm gonna just say it like that. 'Cause a lot of these motherfuckers that they be trying to argue with this space, a city need to stop arguing with everybody because some people aren't even worthy to have a conversation with. And you have to apply leverage on them, but you have to develop leverage to apply it, which is a story that black men need to learn. But they was talking about they're a Christian, and I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Because if you were a Christian, you would definitely have a problem with the culture of abortion that's in the black community. But you don't have that problem. So a lot of people always love to throw up these like ambiguous platitudes. I'm this, I'm that. Basically anything to try to insinuate that they're anti what we're doing. But these motherfuckers never want to present a plan. My thing is, this is what I want to know. And I'm going to say this to every stupid ass piece of shit. And I'm going to just say it just like that. Piece of shit, asshole, black dude that thinks he's a man. What's your plan? You dumb piece of shit. What's your plan? And I don't want to hear just self-improve. My plan versus your plan. That's the problem. My plan versus your plan. Because my plan is black men applying leverage through all the options available to black men. Meaning if black women won't do it, another woman will. That's my plan. My plan is if black women don't want to do it, then if black women can't do it for black men, they need to go and move on. So we know who the fuck we actually dealing with as far as who's on the team. My plan is dudes learning how to get deals cut if they do want kids. Because the shit ain't all about love, contrary to popular belief. And other groups understand this. Black men for some reason don't. Black men are just as emotional as bitches are. Because they want to do shit for love and for all this stupid shit. Man, it's for love. Oh, look, y'all be fighting for these chicks' hearts and minds and stuff. Rather than focusing on leverage. The lesson of DDG is the lesson of leverage. DDG, because he had his own money, he had his own time, DDG had leverage. That's the lesson. And DDG just had to wait her out. That's the lesson to DDG in this situation. DDG just had to wait her out. He knew he had put his hands on her. He knew she was lying. And now she looks stupid. And all you niggas, they basically hating on that nigga. And I'm not saying DDG don't do stupid stuff sometimes. I'm not gonna say that because he has done a couple of dumb things. But all you motherfuckers that was hating, you all look stupid as fuck. And you are stupid as fuck. But like I said, what is your plan? Like if I have to have these conversations with different people, what is your fucking plan? Fuck what you not. I don't like. This is what black men always do. I'm gonna be cut off for a second, so keep in mind with that. Also appreciate James Winsgate for the $5 cash. All right. It ain't. It's a. I actually appreciate you agree with it, but it's not when people say, like, I get it. No, I get you agree, but yeah, this is like common sense. Like, even if you a white, wherever your cycle, you can't, because number one, first of all, my personal belief on that is if a man can't enjoy you in your 20s, then he's not getting the best of you. That's just point blank. We're not even talking about early 20s. We're just talking about 20s in general now. And you got, like, that chick, the Sarah Fontenot brought her boyfriend out. I talked about that. Her fiance, which I can't stand when black women call stuff fiance, because it's like, unless y'all married, I don't believe that. Because what a lot of y'all be doing is y'all be wanting to say something is your fiance, when in actuality, somebody is your fiance. Oh, I know what I'm gonna go. Somebody is your fiance, when in actuality, yeah, this will work out. Somebody's your fiance. I can't stand when black women do that. That culture of fiancés, I do not like that. I do not like that at all. Because black women be on some hella cap shit with that shit. They be on some absolute hella cap city, cap-ola with that bullshit. So I can't stand when black women talk about somebody's a fiance. They have a culture, and that's just another culture of not being married, the culture how they view abortion. And so ultimately, it's to the point where you're actually self-harming. You've created a culture of self-harming yourself, because you are that much in defiance of black men. And my argument is, okay, if you don't want black men because you don't want to be black that bad, then let black men go. But we got this bullshit like colorism, all these allegations that get thrown out there. There's a reason. I'm gonna bring this back to Haillw Bailey in a second, but there's all these allegations that get thrown out there. This is really just reasons for you to be defiant. These are just, and it's like, yo, it gets to a point where it doesn't matter. You either want a black community, you don't, and if you don't, then let black men go. And stop guilt tripping black men, because see, that's where I'm at with it. Stop guilt tripping black men and let's all do you do you, I do me, you do you, and let that be the end of it. But black women can't do that, because in their mind, that's how black women send signals to other races of men. Their idea of campaigning for other races of men is to say black men ain't shit. I need you to come save me. That's what they do. Even white women do it with black men. When they do certain little signals that they're open for business, they try to down white men. You see when you get them real like Ace of Spades chicks, where they get real cucky with their talk, like that shit is lame. It really is. Even when y'all do it with, as much as the bullshit I say, the shit I said yesterday, which is facts, that shit is lame when women do that. That shit is lame as hell. But you got, women out here talking about, you shouldn't get married to your 30s. So the implementation is and we're not talking about at 30. We're not talking about you turn 30. We're talking, so really, you really talk about 31, 32. And then y'all wonder why y'all having these hard pregnancies or y'all having these babies. I mean, the way the culture with black women, as far as how they try to trap niggas and stuff like that, now you start to get some countries and some states now starting to talk about paternity laws, which you absolutely should have. Absolutely. Because a lot of these women, you're gonna have to catch this shit. Because a lot of these goofy ass niggas are gonna be in denial. But like I said, these goofy ass niggas don't want to talk about I'm a Christian, I'm this. With black women and their culture of abortion, for you not to say that, bitch, fuck you and your version of Christianity. You're not a real Christian. That's just another way for you to bitch up and act like you not saying nothing. I can't stand these niggas that all they can do, they act like fake ass prosecutors. They're prosecutors. They try to sit here and say the red pill is wrong. Okay, motherfucker, let it be wrong. What the fuck do you suggest? What is your plan? What do you think needs to happen? How do you think you need to get these people in line? What is your plan for getting black men to work together? I'm the only nigga other than BGS that really said, no other nigga says that. No other nigga on you, none of these niggas really none. I haven't heard one in this space, maybe O'Shea. Other than that, I ain't heard nobody else in this space talk about that black men need to work together, politic with each other, that we got a hyper individualism problem. I'm not saying I'm individualistic. I'm not saying to not be individualistic. But what I ain't saying to have a hive mind, but you have to understand when to prioritize your individualism and when to work as a group. Or why would you want to work? What does that benefit me? You stupid fuck. Leverage. You know how when we're in school, we learn the basics of like leverage, like pulleys and stuff, pulleys and seesaws and stuff like that in order to increase our individual strength by using a leverage point. You learn these things with pulleys and the basics of physics and stuff. You know, the little elementary school basics. It's the same thing. You aggregate resources, meaning you're extending the resources you otherwise can. The thing is, you have to learn how to work with another individual. Corporations are financial leverage instruments. I know this is stuff they don't teach you because you come from a ghetto household. And then a lot of the, dudes that do come from a corporate or a more higher class household, you niggas are basically in pseudo matriarchies, even though you want to act like you're not. And a lot of you niggas that act like patriarchs, you know how I know you're a fucking liar, media man, is you should understand this. Patriarchs understand that they're as strong as the men around them. They're as strong as the men that they're able to influence, command, or influence. This is why a true alpha is really defined by the men. Because an alpha is based on his ability to muster and marshal male power. Remember when you got like the motherfucking lord of the land, when they got a marshal of force? Now, marshal doesn't always mean command. It's leverage, whether it's influence, whether it's respect, it's who they were as a military soldier, whatever, whether it's they're a lord of the land, whether they're tribal chief, whatever. There are different ways of marshaling shit. Press 1 if y'all can hear me. Press 1 if y'all can hear me. That's what an alpha is. An alpha is defined by his ability to marshal human. Okay, James, so you saw me shut you. Okay, marshal human resources, mainly male human resources. Because contrary to popular belief, the only thing that bitch can do that we can't do is have children. That's really it. The more at home front shit they did because they were in a support role. But when it comes to getting the fucking food, the killing animals, getting the food, when it comes to fucking fighting off other people, that's the shit the men had to do. The women could support in it, but that's mainly what the men had to do. Because that's why women typically last longer, because we did the dangerous shit, because we're built for it. That's what it is. But you got you dumbass niggas that y'all want to sit here and y'all want to throw up the book. Nigga, I read the Bible cover to cover. I've been to Bible school. Like in the summer, in the middle of fucking nowhere. And not a particularly great time of my life. Shit, what the fuck? Okay. Damn, I need to turn around. Shit. Alright. Shit. I don't give a fuck. So a lot of y'all niggas, y'all hide behind certain shit. I'm a Christian. What the fuck does that mean? I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. The black church, men are in the black church because the black church doesn't serve men. The black church economically doesn't serve men anymore. The bitches in there are really just reform hoes for the most part. They just want to create a whorehouse in the church. Let's be real about the black church. If you gonna say you a Christian, there's a lot of things the black church could be doing. But instead the black church sold out to basically tell women what they want to hear. And then when Democrats come along, they compel black people to vote for the Democrats. They're just whores. The black church, the mega churches could be like Kevin Crosby, activating the HBCU. Some of these churches have credit unions in them. Churches are ways of moving tax-free money. But you'll never hear that out of these pastors because these pastors only care about themselves. Not even understanding if they enrich their congregation, they can actually enrich themselves. But that's not their business model. What about having small churches that certify certain pastors when it comes to how they deal with the money? What they're doing locally so people know when they're supporting the church, they're supporting the church network. But we can't have those conversations because you fuckers are too busy hiding behind the black Christianity so you can have this authority that backed by shit. Negro dollars backed by gang, meaning it's backed by magic, meaning it's backed by nothing. Whether it's Bible thumping niggas, whether it's Pan-African niggas, none of these niggas have any answers. You all don't even have counterpoints. You all just have wagging your finger shit. You niggas are weak. You niggas are weak. That's why y'all don't drive the conversation. Y'all have to argue against what we talk about. Because we're the ones that set the fucking tone. Y'all couldn't even get behind Kevin when Kevin was trying to put a corporate spin on it. Y'all couldn't even get behind that. And Kevin was trying to deal with black women because he wanted to give black women the same gift that his mom was able to get, which is her getting her shit together and being able to find somebody, even late in her life. That's what Kevin was trying to do for black women because his mom found that and he knew how stubborn his mom was. I can relate. Can relate, but black women didn't like it, so you goofy ass niggas, because you follow that bitch and her emotions like a fucking mood ring. You all like a dog in that way. You niggas like to get clout. Y'all like to get clout by trying to argue against the red pill. It's like an amalgamous thing, or passport bros, or whatever. These are prescriptions. Passport bros or black men traveling is about leverage. And it's really not about them. It's about you as a black man. That's why I had to pull up to that other dude when him and his bitch ass, dude is alright, but his bitch ass friend. Then Marty was up a while ago. These niggas, y'all niggas are pussies. Like, for real. And yeah, I would say that shit to your face and dare you to do something. Niggas love getting violent with black men, but when it comes to other groups of men, them niggas know how to shut the fuck up then. So at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these groups that they want to talk about the red pill, you niggas ain't got no solution. You niggas are y'all are just holding black men back, black people back. Hell, in a lot of ways, you fucking up black women too. Because you're wasting their time, because you don't have the courage to speak truth to power. You niggas are weak. And that's why white people ain't really worried about you niggas like that. Because you niggas know your place. There's a lot more black men that understand what's going on than you would think, that ain't really in this space. Yeah, what's up, Corey Lamar? They're in this space. Like, it's not in this space, you'd be surprised. But ultimately, our job is to create leverage, even if it's through communication lines, and then build on that. That's what our job is. All this arguing with different people, these motherfuckers haven't even been in this on YouTube long enough to really know what the fuck they're talking about anyway. A lot of these motherfuckers, they're just trying to get a bag. They don't give a fuck about this shit for real. And you don't get them by debating them to death. You get them by compelling them, and you compel them with leverage. And this is why I've talked about that. People have talked about streaming services. People have talked about like what I said with the barbershop, project. And obviously Discord is a good small way of starting leverage. We getting everybody to one point. So we can build off of that and network in a bigger way. Because it's about, and not just with the women, but a lot of other topics. A lot of the tether conversation, a lot of that. That's really the first goal, is for black men to be networked so we can actually have a conversation and we can say, okay, what do we agree on a bigger scale? That's what this is about. And people have done good work when it comes to stuff like conclaves, when it comes to different stuff like that. Things are moving. When you look at stuff like, the streaming thing with, a lot of these former NBA players, like, these things are building in a way, but you need to network with it, because when you network with stuff, you can raise money. Like, there's a lot of people that would invest. It doesn't take a lot of, it really doesn't take a lot of money to do some stuff. And there's a lot of black people that's got money. It just has to be presented in a certain way, and not necessarily where everybody is looking at it and watching it. Sometimes anonymity is a good thing, because, there's a Chinese proverb, or maybe it's a Japanese, I don't know, but the hammer that sticks out gets hammered. And black people have this thing where they have a need for attention. Again, that's that hyper masculinity, attention equals bitches shit. Like we should have a communication network that white people don't even, I'm not saying you can completely keep it secret, but white people don't even know about like that. Just like how white people know about Spanish shit, but they don't be really paying attention to it because they don't speak Spanish. We need that. We don't have our own language, but we need a network. Like, our barbershop should be networked like you go to these fucking DMVs and shit. And you see those commercials and shit. We should have that. You should have black businesses in this network that way, with a website or something like that you're pulling in people that are not necessarily online. So you can have this communication stuff for a lot of different things. We should have our own stuff, because our own stuff, I'm not saying our own stuff is what we control. Black men don't really believe in that, because black men are not patriarchal. Black men are matriarchal. So they always defer group-wise to somebody else. Individually, they may do some shit on their own, maybe, because I think personally that gets overblown. Because black men are willing to want to compromise too much. Black men always look to compromise with a bitch, and quite frankly, black men always look to compromise with other groups of men. Now, with black men, they don't, but with other groups of men, yeah, they'll compromise. And that's a problem. And that's something black men need to look in the mirror and be honest about. And a lot of these niggas are afraid. So a lot of these niggas, what they do is they try to point the finger at other niggas, thinking that people ain't gonna pay attention to your shit. And look, we all have our own issues. I'm not saying we don't. I do. I got shit I need to do. But my point is, when people come at the quote unquote red pill and manosphere, they also like to jump on the manosphere, like the white manosphere, and act like they talk about the black manosphere. Cause motherfuckers, like you motherfuckers ain't really fighting for nothing. You niggas are, who is it? I forget what's the basketball player. You all the go along to get along gang. You got a lot of go along to get along niggas when it comes to black men and black women. You're not helping them by doing that. You're really setting them up, because you niggas are cowards. And the best way to really showcase their ineptitude, their castration, is as a space, to the extent that the space is still a space. We have to, you have to build things. You have to build things that they got to put up and shut up. SWP Loki alluded to this in his recent video he just did, which I have some disagreements on his kind of assessment on the black manosphere. as far as we're all taught, because we have moved the political needle. There's certain things that weren't talked about until we talked about it. You don't hear matriarchy specifically until me and BGS started talking about it. And I'm not just talking about in this space, I'm talking even in the white community. There are certain things that white people steal from us, that they weren't talking about until I've heard Andrew Wilson use the term matriarchy. You don't, these terms they weren't using, because that wasn't even their fucking frame of reference. So no, we are moving the needle much more. As much as these white dudes be racist as hell, they love to steal too. As superior as they think they are, they love to steal. So that information, in a way, even though they use it, does get disseminated up to them, in which they have these greater conversations. They have Kwame Brown, yeah, they have these greater conversations, you know, in their sphere. And unfortunately, because they're the majority, you know, if shit is gonna move, they're gonna have to move it. Because I'm not gonna be a crash dummy like black women are crash dummies for white women. I'm not doing that. It just won't get done. Because white men have more to gain as well as more to lose by this shit not being corrected. Because our culture is already shit. Theirs is on its way. And if they don't think it can't get worse, go look at Europe. That's another thing, these white boys talking hella shit. Europe looks like a piece of shit right now. And y'all sitting there talking all this shit where Europe looks like shit. Asia probably got some of the best cities right now. Really. Europe is absolute dog shit. Southern, like other than maybe Northern Europe. Like the Scandinavian countries. But the rest of the countries are dog shit. The Scandinavian countries, Germany. And maybe like Austria and shit. But the rest of them are dog shit. And y'all can blame the immigrants all y'all want to. Them immigrants came in there because of policies white people did and white people letting them in. So we can play that game all we want to. That's a game that's just a game y'all playing. He said, see, and by the way, let me get Detroit. Shout out to Detroit 313 with the $5. Black church formerly is white supremacist. The black church actually did serve a function for black men, but because people didn't know what the fucking function was, people lost the plot. If you ask black people what was the black church for, they'll say for religion. Wrong. The black church was for us aggregating our resources, aggregating our political power. That was the practice, and dudes being able to find a job and shit like that and network with people and shit. That was the primary function of the black church. It was a gathering place for black people of different classes and stuff like that. But people lost the plot to that. So black churches turned into pimp factory, telling black women what they want to hear, motivational factories, where they gaslight black women for bucks. He said there's a paternity bill in Ohio that I think is a direct result of the man. It is. So we've moved the needle. Have we moved the needle as much as we could? Are there things that I wish we would have did differently? Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. However, you wouldn't have a lot of women online. We've moved the needle. We could argue we could have moved it more, absolutely. But we've moved the needle. It is not the same thing as the Pan-Africans. The Pan-Africans, basically, we're trying to integrate black people into other black people that are very, very hostile to us. Black people have to get good at separating the bastard tethers from other Africans that actually want to do right or collaborate. I'm all for collaborating with other Africans and Caribbeans. Love it, love it, love it. But you fuckers that you think you better than us, you fuckers that think you got this jealous shit, you fuckers that believe that you want to compete with us, I have no problem putting my foot through your fucking skull. I have no problem doing that. I have no problem crushing you. I have no problem. And I will, with no emotion with that. Dunking on your ass. And it's time for us to start really separating those people and really letting people know, y'all motherfuckers need to stand down. You better tell them, If these people, cause they getting bold about it. Motherfuckers talking about wanting to outpopulate black Americans and all this little secret shit y'all doing. Y'all will be skedaddle. All it takes is one Republican to be like, deport every last one of these fuckers. And some of y'all gonna catch collateral damage because of that. Y'all better tell them. Y'all better tell them. I know somebody was telling me, and shout out to him, because he wanted people to hold it down my Discord, talk about most Africans, you know, they really want to go back. That's bullshit. And then he named Nigeria, Ghana, and Cameroon. Cameroon is bullshit, number one. And Nigeria is low-key bullshit. Ghana, I might give you. A lot of these motherfuckers, you know, Liberia. I remember I've had conversations about people coming, and technically people say Liberia's war torn. They act like they'll die before they go back. Most of these motherfuckers that come over here don't go back. Not like that. That's a known thing. I don't know why y'all be making stuff up. Nigeria is 237 million people. 237 million people. Nigeria ain't. That's a very packed situation. Why would you go back? You may have ties there. You may send money there. But why would you go back if you can build something here as an imprint when you can always live there? With 237 million. Honestly, you would think there'd be a Nigerian diaspora with as many people as there. So people always be fronting like it ain't what it is. Like, Nigerians got a horrible reputation everywhere but the United States. And African Americans are really a big reason why they don't have a bad reputation here. Other Africans don't fuck with Nigerians. Hell, Chinese, like a lot of people don't like, and I thought Nigerians was cool people, but like a lot, like it's like, yo, African Americans be the only, like, the last group to really like not shit on Nigerians. Like, I understand there's 3 different Nigerians, Igbos, Yorubas, and I forget the third one. I think the Yorubas are more of the majority population. The Igbos are the ones in the South. And really the Igbos be the main ones giving a lot of people a bad name. Truth be told, it be mainly the Igbos. So don't think I'm not looking deeper into the population, because a lot of the antagonism that we get from Nigerians, they be Igbo. I've noticed that. It's something about Igbos where they like see us as a mirror, because those also the Christian group, where it's like they get real antagonistic with us. And it's like, yo, black people have never really, like, all them like kiki ha shit, you ain't really seen us. Like, you don't want us to East Coast West Coast war the shit. Not when black people united under one kind of thing. You don't want us to East Coast West Coast that shit. You ain't really seen black people get violent. Y'all really haven't. Y'all been able, you know, a lot of y'all need to chill the fuck out. Like, you know, motherfuckers have really given Nigeria a lot of respect. And motherfuckers come over here with some stupid shit just because kids will be kids and shit will be kids. And y'all want to create a whole Aldrich Killian village origin story over the shit. Y'all better stop. Y'all ain't really seeing, like, motherfuckers, y'all, you barely seeing people really start to focus on certain people. So anyway, I know I ain't need to talk about the Haillw Bailey situation like that, but I'll do a form of video with it. But as far as, like, it ain't even about that. Like, my thing is, out of 237 million, I'm sure there's folks that definitely will fuck with us heavy if, you know, we collab, you know. But a lot of these people that y'all think y'all coming with some bullshit, y'all about to start getting put down, like, for real. Like, I'm sorry, and I mean that in the strongest terms that I just said that. Like, y'all, because these white people aren't gonna protect you. They're not. And so a lot of y'all need to tell them to chill out, because all this like antagonism, that shit will get carved the fuck out. Yo, again, y'all lucky we got this gender issue where these women don't want to be black, and that's a different problem. And truth be told, if you say who we should go after first, I'm gonna keep it real with you. We should go after Pan-Africans first. The African Americans that basically promoted that shit, those should be the ones we go after first, just to set the table and let them know, yeah, like, y'all, we coming for y'all next. We gonna deal. You go internal, then you go out. So the people that sold that bullshit, knowing good and goddamn well, not vetting these people, it's just like in the mafia, when you bring somebody in and they turn out to be a snitch, you look at who brought them in, you carve them out too. That's how that works. But see, you can't have that conversation because, again, black men ain't united, because black men operate on the spirit of service. Black men aren't really thinking about, you know, what do you need to do to drive your community. They on some how can I help customer service bullshit. That's black men's problem. So you can't have these greater conversations about a direction of where something could go because they too busy wanting to win the hearts and minds of black bitches. That's not how women work. You got to compel them to do shit. Niggas got nice guy syndrome. You use leverage. And we can't have that conversation. And you have to, and honestly, you have to deal with other black men in that way. You have to use that concept of leverage. If we all are like-minded, then we need to create leverage in different ways to basically disincentivize a lot of black men for coming after us. You have to make the cost of doing that not worth it. So when a media man or whoever tries to say, oh, we're going to pick a fight with the manosphere, you got to be like, no, that fight ain't worth picking. And I'm not talking just about, you know, I'm not even talking about arguing with people online. I'm talking about, nigga, I will bring up every negative thing you've ever said about black women. I will cue that shit up and put that shit on a playlist and run that shit so black women know what you on when every time you get frustrated with them. So you can't use this as a way to build your channel off of us. Nah, this nigga knows what it is. He's lying to you. Here's the proof. That's how you do that. Clip everything up. The type of shit where you have a media man, you know, shorts channel, and you railgun that shit everywhere, being like everything he's ever checked black women on, you know, and they get mad. So make that nigga have to pander all the way. Nah, no half stepping. Make them, you either gotta pander all the way and disavow all that shit and be on your knees and be in black women's ass crack 24/7, just like Russell Wilson was in Sierra's ass crack, or you gonna tell the fucking truth. Or you could work with black women that are in the black female accountability. That's how you deal with shit like that. You don't deal with shit like that by just having back and forth arguments so they can use that as a clout-scape. They can use that as a clout-scape. That's what I mean about leverage. You know, they can use that as a clout market. We're not a fucking marketing strategy. We're not that. Yeah, man, I'm in the middle. Fuck you and your audience and your fucking media man ain't the main one I've been talking about this whole time or thinking about. But I'm just serious. Y'all niggas that want to clout a bag, fuck that shit. Because all money ain't good money. There's other ways to make money, even on YouTube. So that kind of fake ass Kevin Samuels bullshit ain't it. It ain't it. And too many people like to come for this space and like shout out to Obsidian, but Obsidian like to, you know, have a good argument. Fuck that. He said Muammar Gaddafi lost his head and his country practices. Yeah, that is true. I'm not against Pan-Africanism as a concept, but the problem is Pan-Africanism can't be a one-way street. And you got people that are literally plotting for our downfall. You got some of the shit that I've heard certain people say, like Tariq was going over a tweet of some kind of rapper talking about a Kata killer and shit like that. I was like, say that in the United States and see if you leave. Because these white people ain't gonna care about no African. Say that in the United States. Come in here in the United States and get on stage and say a Kata killer. In fact, go to Africa. In fact, go to Ghana where African Americans are and say that stupid shit. You won't. Say that. In fact, say that to an individual African American and say a Kata killer. They won't. That'll impress me. They won't. Or BGS was playing a video with a white dude, this is a white couple, like woke couple, you know, typical woke MSNBC looking couple, right? And they were talking about how they would be racist towards black people, you know, other groups of, like, you know, people that are not white would be racist towards black people, African Americans, and to get this person like perturbed or like flustered, because, you know, he's like, all right, I'm not racist, da da da. And they would say racist shit to see we say. I say that to African Americans. And I would tell that dude. If you want them to stop, which low key you probably don't, but if you want them to stop, just tell them to say that to any African American. Say it to a black woman, corporate, street, whatever. Just say it to them. And then you'll find they won't say it because they'll get their ass whooped. They'll get their ass whooped. And then he said it was Africans that was saying that too. All right, diverse group. The diverse group can be the most racist. But they're always racist against us. Interesting. But you woke. I'm like, I wouldn't be friends with that. I'm not friends with people that just start throwing other people under the bus just cuz. Certain groups I don't care about. Like, yeah, if I'm, yes, I'll probably be friends with I am friends with dudes that, you know, they don't deal with gay shit. Like, they don't talk about all the time, but like, you know, if they say some gay slander, that's not a deal breaker. But like, if you sitting here just throwing maybe if dudes have issue with white people, even though I'll call it out. I've talked about people in my own Discord. I'll be like, you gotta deal with that anger. You be having because it be clouding your judgment. Not saying that they're wrong, but it's like you know, white people get satisfaction on black dudes having that kind of anger. So I'll deal with it, but I may call that out, but I'll still call it out. But I'm not friends with a whole bunch of people that just throwing like Africans under the I hate Africans. Ooh, African booty scratcher. Ooh, they're not clean. I'm not like around people that they're doing that, because I call that shit out because it's a human thing. Now, if it's a greater point that they have as to why they're bringing that up or something like that, then that's a different situation. But if you got people that are just slandering people just to be slandering people, it's better things to do than to just be doing that. Because a lot of black people do it in order, a lot of black people do shit like that in order to make themselves feel good. And there's other ways of doing that. So when I hear people that they're around people that are just slandering certain people, like, you know, especially when you're supposed to be in some kind of like collaboration or something like that, I don't respect that. Like, y'all don't get to say, yeah, man, but that, no. I don't have relationships with people like that. Like, they're not gonna say that around me, because I'll check it. And a lot of y'all, when y'all don't check it, I don't give a fuck if it's your family members. When y'all don't check that shit, you low-key co-sign it. Because you can minimize kind of, man, yo, no, fuck all that. So when people, I never accept that as an excuse. Y'all, yeah, but even if I give y'all that, it don't be just y'all family members. That's like white people talk about their family members being racist. It's the same excuse. And then when ICE is coming for everybody mad. Everybody mad. Talk about all this African American, all this anger. How the fuck y'all mad at African Americans when it's white people doing that to you? You find a way to be mad at us or to rope us in it. Because that's how you know the hatred. Because it's like, even when you want our help, you still hating on us. You actually expect us to help you after the shit you know y'all people have done, and y'all ain't say nothing. Like Hispanics, like, it's like you got other Hispanics that ain't helping y'all. ICE got Hispanics in it. But y'all ain't talking about that. They just now starting to get around and talk about Asians being quiet. I'll give Hispanics that. They're starting to bring up these Asians. These Asians see themselves as above y'all. You didn't know? That's why Asians like, I can't believe Trump, you know, went after the Koreans, which, truth be told, they were dealing with the batteries more than I guess I even knew. The infrastructure of the EV shit. You didn't know them Asians, like them white boys, especially with them Asian women, they see them as pseudo white. They as close to white that ain't white that you gonna get. And you're surprised? You're like, they're not helping us. Why would they? How does it benefit them? The only thing y'all have in common, the only thing brown people and yellow people have in common is not liking black people. That's it. But y'all would be the bottom. Y'all would actually be, you really think that black people are here, it'd be all this white? That's gonna say no, y'all would be the new niggas. Y'all would be the niggas. And you see how they treat y'all. ICE going up in you know, graduate. ICE doing some Jesus. They dusted off the slave catcher book, boy. They went in that vault. They went in that vault like on some American Treasury or whatever that Nicolas Cage movie is. You know, the Treasury movie. They went in that vault, they went in some kind of special fraternal order of police vault, deep down in the basement, in a shrine, opened it, did the hands. They said, slave catcher nigga tactics. Dusted that shit off, and they said, this, our generation, we get to use the old ways. We get to practice on the Latinas. make a couple of copies of this, this, and this. Getting them on your graduation, getting you on the quinceañeras, getting, you know, like giving Trump the permission to get rid of the Birthrights Act. This is something they doing to target y'all. And remember, y'all voted for it. Just remember that. Y'all did vote for it, so y'all can't say that. Shout out to B Rain with the $100. Much appreciated with the $100 super chat, man. I am definitely humbled by this. Thank you so much for that, man. Definitely email me and let me know if there's a video you want me to speak on, or 2 videos you want me to speak on. This cooking is sponsored by B Rain, aka Brain. Like, make sure y'all like his super sticker. Like Darkside said, let us do. Oh yeah, and they dusting that shit off. They doing slave catcher tactics on these mofos. They bringing in the National Guard. And I'm gonna keep it real. You shouldn't have sanctuary cities in the United States. I'm like with Pink Book lessons. You know, all the Indians shouldn't be driving cars, driving trucks, driving semi-trucks. There's other people that have them jobs. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you some jobs that a lot of people don't know about. The oil rig jobs, them white boys be keeping close to the vest. Another job on the low be them deckhand jobs. Them deckhand jobs with boats and tugboats and stuff on the bays. Them deckhand jobs, I'm not talking about the jobs where you put for cargo on the ships. I'm talking about the jobs where you be working on the ships and stuff. Those be like $60,000 starting out. If you under 30 years old and you don't know what you want to do with your life, I would tell people, especially if you in the Navy, I'm gonna take you real. If you in the Navy too, if you was in the Navy, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You do 4 years. If I do 4 years in the Navy, get out of there. You would know them deckhand jobs. You have the skills of a deckhand is working on a boat. Them jobs, and they be hiring. You know, them dredger jobs where they be vacuuming up like the seabed when it comes to like these bays and stuff for cargo. Yeah, man, it's certain jobs that like foreigners shouldn't have, because the reality is we have the technical skill to do them here. Just like how you can't go in other countries and be getting certain jobs, and I wouldn't expect to. Semi trucks is one of those jobs. Yeah, you know, National Treasure. Yeah, that's the movie. Exactly. The Chinese too, with the because they did the West Coast trains, but they forget the train networks in the South were built by prisoners. The trains in the South were built by prison gangs, the prison train gangs. People forget that. The Chinese did the West Coast, but we did mainly the East Coast. But they don't want to talk about that. See, that's the part they don't want to talk about. Yeah, shout out to Man of Steel film. People always hate on Man of Steel, but Man of Steel was good, man. That would be a tragedy we didn't get like at least a second and third Man of Steel movie. They tried to do too much. But yeah. Yeah, motherfucker, I need Superman to be white. You know, they love Superman because Superman is white Jesus. That's Superman is like white Jesus to them. So when Superman is not white Jesus, it bothers them. Like people that had like an issue, oh my God, I'm like, it wasn't like Superman was just killing people. It made absolute sense what he was doing. And it's like, so what do you think? Superman should have talked him out. He was about to laser a family. Whatchamacallit? And shout out to Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon did a great General Zod. A rendition of General Zod. Shout out to Fiora. That actress, that was a German actress that did that Fiora shit. I love that shit. You know, it's a good death and stuff. That was a good movie. Shout out to Hans Zimmer for the Hans Zimmer for the score. People to this day be, hey, oh my God, he wasn't Jesus, he wasn't Christ-like enough. That's really what they was mad about. I remember back in when I used to watch, you know, some of the movie stuff back in the day. And that was like, it was one chick in particular who was a Superman fan. And look, I get it, she has a right to her opinion, but that was her issue. But I'm like, that's what it was. Like, y'all act like they made an evil Superman. They really didn't. They made a Superman in the real world is based on, and I actually think Snyder did a good job doing that. The new Superman is all right. I mean, he's done a good job. He's done a good job. He's done a good job. I might need, no, it's good. They did, number one, there's no gay stuff with Mr. Terrific. They did, I mean, they could have did Mr. Terrific a little bit better, but they did Mr. Terrific right. There was no gay BS. I think Hawk Girl was trash. Hawk Girl was trash. But Guy Gardner was good. Nathan Fillion did a great job as Guy Gardner. Yeah, for this to be the first outing with Mr. Terrific, they did a good job. Could they have, you know, could they have did better? Yeah, I have some notes, but honestly, they did a good job. And Mr. Terrific has his scenes. He has his moments, and I mean, like, really, really strong moments. For somebody like James Gunn, it's like, okay, you know, I will give him, because, you know, like, for him, yeah. So, especially when, you know, Mr. Red is a sub-character. So, yeah. So, it's definitely worth seeing. The movie it's a good Superman movie. Would I say I like Man of Steel more? Yes. But is it a good rendition of a Superman movie? Absolutely. Especially when you got to establish as much you got to establish and get it in there. I think that Lois Lane, even though she wouldn't have been my first pick, I like what they did with Lois Lane. I actually like what they did with her. You know, given like the woke BS that, you know, they're liable to do. I actually think that was a good balance for a lot of stuff. A chick did like a lot of these women can get behind, but it's serviceable. It's more than serviceable. I think she did a good job. So yeah, I like the dog. I like, you know, the cameo with Supergirl and them setting it up for the Supergirl film. I actually think they have that set up for success with her going after fighting Lobo, because I think that's a villain that she has to punch up to. But Lobo's kind of a comedic villain, and with Jason Momoa, so that movie set up and says that actress, if you look at her, you be like, I don't know, but like how she actually comes off in the Supergirl suit and everything, it works. It does work, especially what James Gunn is going for. So we'll see. So it's set up, you know. So it is what it is. But yeah, man. But at the end of the day, going back, I'm about to end this video. I'll probably do a live stream because of 100 as well. But like a panel, but like with Haillw Bailey, yeah, you know, she want to now put the swords down, and DDG just want to see his son, so I get the situation. But yeah, DDG won, and I'm curious to see what black females are gonna do. You know, what black women are gonna do when it comes to, you know, they're gonna be quiet, because when they're wrong, they're always quiet. He said, look, man, I'm a civilian when it comes to that. I'm a civilian, so at the end of the day, unless DC gets sold and whatever, he's over, and it is what it is. It's what you got, and it's what you got. You know, like, Charles, let's keep it real. It ain't no Kathleen Kennedy shit. So, that's my marker for, like, the worst case scenario. I'm not a Superman Nazi. I'll call out what I call out, but at the same time, if the shit is serviceable, it's serviceable. And really, my main point was Mr. Terrific. They could have made him a little bit more. Well, you know, that actress is just they did good with Mr. Terrific. They could have did so much worse. But, and that's another thing about a Discord, you know, people that can talk, keep them talk, and people that, like Charles, that are experts on these comments and stuff, you know, we can kind of have those conversations. You know, him, Artisan, always think it's a tragedy we never got Artisan, like, where MC, where we needed to be, like, a real good, like, geekdom show. And so that's another thing a Discord can kind of do. If we aggregate everybody to one point and start bringing people in for that stuff. Yeah, he did that to lump the women in. But anyway, like I said, man, shout out to DDG for weathering Haillw Bailey's bullshit. Shout out to Haillw Bailey for lying, her lying ass. You talk about I got a Ring camera. And like I said, man, man, the fact that she lied about that shit, man, that shit is crazy. Ain't got no fucking Ring footage. Talk about Ring footage, he slammed the T. Like, that bitch straight up lied, yo. That bitch straight up lied. And black women went along with that shit because they want to believe that men are abusers. Because in their mind, that's their own narrative story. So yeah, working their ass on that shit. Yeah. And all these bitches, till the very end, they were caping for Haillw Bailey. Caping, and the reality is they cape for avatars of chaos. You notice that? Haillw Bailey, they cap, anybody that's like against black men, they're for it. You notice that? Anybody that's against black men, they're for it. But anyway, man, this is Edward signing off. Peace.